again, geometry. Today we are going to do some example problems on how to find the area of a sector. So if you watched the first video, you learned what a sector is. Now we're going to do some examples finding the area of sectors. So here we have a circle. Let's give it a center point. I'm just going to call that A. And to have a sector, we need to have a couple of radii. So let's put a point here, this is B, and I'll put a point over here, this is C. So let's connect those and make them radii. There's radius AB, and this is radius AC. So we want to find the area of this sector that goes all in here. To do so, we're going to have to remember a couple of things. We already know how to find the area for a circle, right? So area for a circle is equal to pi times the radius squared. We're going to use this formula to help us figure out this part of a circle's area. So if you can remember that this little pizza wedge is a piece of the whole, then it's going to help you out. So we can write a formula for the area of a sector. I'm going to call that AS. And the area of a sector is related to the area of the whole circle, but it's only part of it. Well, what part of is it? It's related to the central angle. So this central angle, I need to know what that is. If I don't, we call it theta. That's this symbol right here, theta. So our formula is the fraction of the circle times the whole area. So I think of it like it's a percent. What percentage of the area is this piece? This looks like a pie graph too. Those are also related. We'd figure out the size of each pie part of the graph doing the same kind of method. So theta is the size of this angle. Well, how many total degrees are there in a circle? There's 360. So this is going to be my fraction. I have theta degrees out of 360 degrees times my area of the whole entire circle. So this blue part represents the fraction that's over here times the whole entire area, pi r squared. So just looking at this formula that I've written down, I'm going to need to know theta. I need to know how big the angle is. I also need to know the size of the radius. If I do not know theta and I do not know the radius, then I cannot find the area of the sector. So to solve this problem, I'm going to have to give you some information. So for this one, I'm going to say theta is equal to 60 degrees. And your radius is 5.5 inches. So now I can take this information here and easily plug it into this formula right here. So let's see what that looks like. Area of the sector is equal to theta. Theta is 60 degrees, so 60 divided by 360 times pi times the radius, which is 5.5, squared. Now we just need to simplify. Okay, I'm going to slide up just a little so I can have a little more space. Okay, so as I simplify, I'm just going to go piece by piece. So area of the sector is equal to, I know that would be like 6 over 36. And so if I simplify this fraction even further, that's going to be 1 over 6 times, let's see, 5.5 squared is going to give me 30.25, and then pi. So if you remember our fraction rules, I can put this right side of this over 1, and then I can multiply my numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So to simplify this further, area of the sector is 30.25 pi divided by 6. At this point, you're going to have to grab a calculator and type things in. Because I don't know about you, but I do not have the answer to this memorized. So if I do 30.25 times pi, get that answer, and then divide that by 6, I'm going to find out that the area of this sector is equal to 15.84 inches. And since I have my inches squared up here, if you notice, this is area, my inches should be squared. So if you need to write your answer out, you could also say 15.84 and then just use words and say square inches. That is the area of this sector. Okay, let's try one more example. So I'm going to move my paper over so that I've got room for another example. So we need another circle. Okay, here is circle X. And it has 2 radii right here. Points Y and Z. And I want to know what is the area of this sector right here in between the 2 radii. This yellow piece of pizza. So let's remember our formula. Area of a sector is equal to theta over 360 times pi r squared. So we need to know the angle, theta, and then we need to know the radius. So in this example, our angle, theta, is let's say that's about 100 degrees. Again, with all my examples, none of this is drawn to scale. We're just using the numbers. And the radius is, well, let's go with 3 miles. So this is apparently a really big circle. So let's just plug these numbers in and see what we get. Area of the sector is equal to theta, so 100 degrees, out of 360 degrees, times pi, times the radius, which is 3 miles, squared. So I'm just going to go piece by piece and simplify some of this. Area of the sector, I'm simplifying this fraction. I can cross out those in zeros. I've got 10 over 36. I know they both can be divided by 2, so that would give me 5 over 18. And I don't think it can simplify any further, so I'm going to leave it as 5 over 18 times pi, because nothing's happened to the pi yet. So then the next is 3 squared, which is 9, so pi times 9. Like I did in the other example, I'll just put this over 1. So I've got 5 times pi times 9. And with multiplication, remember you can multiply any order. It's going to be easier for me to do 5 times 9. So that's the order I'm going to do it. So area of the sector is equal to 5 times 9 is 45. Pi over 18 times 1 is just 18. And then let's see about simplifying. I know both of these numbers can be divided by 9, so divide by 9 here, divide by 9 to simplify this fraction. 45 divided by 9 gives me 5 pi. 18 divided by 9 gives me 2. So 5 pi over 2. If you want to get a decimal version, most of the time this answer will be totally fine by me. But if you want, you can also, if I ask you to on a quiz or something, you can also just do 5 times pi and then divide that by 2. And we get area of a sector in decimal form for this is 7.85 square miles. So those are examples for this week. If you have any questions, make sure you write them down. I will see you on Monday and Wednesday on Zoom, and we will do some more examples, and then we'll have our quiz. As always, email me with your questions.